Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Janice Hooker Fortman with Relationship Matters. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. Well, I was thinking about the vaccine. I think you're going to hear this from me for a little while. Now, I have gotten both of my shots. I have been vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. My arm hasn't fallen off. My leg hasn't fallen off. I still think that all my senses are intact and I feel safe. Now, I still wear my mask and I still stay 6 feet apart from strangers and I don't go into crowds. However, what I know is that I won't infect anyone. So I got my vaccination, not just because of me, but because of other people, because of my loved ones. And I'm urging you to get your vaccine. I know people say, well, I'm going to wait and see. Wait and see what? Wait and see if you get it? if you contract COVID? Wait and see for what? I was listening to a report on one of the radio stations, and this African-American doctor was on, and he was talking about the fact that people in my community are really hesitant about getting the vaccine because of past issues, which I understand. But what he was saying is that if we don't all, at least 75 to 80% of the population, we don't get that many people to be vaccinated, then we're really going to have a hard time curbing this pandemic. And there are people who are only getting one shot, and so you have the antibiotics, but the virus is mutating. We have to remember that the virus is a living organism, and living organisms, what do they want to do? They want to survive. So if you've gotten one, get the other. Get vaccinated. Get the COVID shot. Make yourself safe and your loved ones. So that's it. I'm going to get off of my soapbox. Well, let's talk about the guest that I have today. And let me tell you a little bit about her. Her name is Kristine Grant. And Kristine is a retired marriage and family therapist and school psychologist. She is one of the foremost national relationship experts, especially within the realm of communication. And you know, I love that. She's the creator of the relationship process and inspired heart letters. And that's a different kind of approach, a novel approach, and a unique coaching tool that magically transforms any matters of the heart. So if you're thinking about a letter that you need to write, or you're thinking about something you really want to say to someone and you really don't know how, this is your lady. This is your young lady. And I'm going to bring to you Miss Kristine Grant, or as She is also known Tina Rose.
Wow.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Janice. Gosh, thanks so much for having me be your guest today. I'm so excited. And I just have to say, it's so fun to reconnect with you. We
Yeah.
actually met on a cruise
Yes,
some
we
years
did.
ago. Uh-huh.
Yes, we did.
And
We
we explored Mazatlan and we had ourselves a great time. So
yes, we did. And I had a souvenir, um, and I couldn't find it. You and Maxine and I hope she'll be able to come on. Toured the tequila.
maybe just a little bit. I mean, we had to be patrons, right?
Yes, we did.
I didn't say Patron, I said patrons.
Yes, yes. And that's when we met, and we still have our relationship.
Yes, we do.
We do.
You're a sweetheart.
And
So,
so I do. And so I do. So tell us now. Now you know what? When we first came on, we didn't have the echo, but there's always issues. Right before we came on, my whole system shut down in the whole house. My husband,
because you're so powerful.
what that is. Okay. Whatever you say. But anyway, we're going to move on. Now that it's gone, which is wonderful. Which is wonderful. So, Kristine. Now, would you prefer me to call you Kristine or Tina?
Well, either one. Let me share with your wonderful audience where the Tina comes from. So
Okay.
I'm Kristine Rose Grant, and thank you for referring to me as the young lady. Gosh, that made my day. But as a bucket list in my life, I happened to serendipitously meet this woman almost 2 years ago who's a singer-songwriter in California. And my hobby, I'm a word activator. Okay. So words carry a frequency and a vibration. You've heard the adage, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Well, the same holds true for love letters, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But as a result of speaking on my children's program, which is Be Friendship Focused, around the United States for a couple of years, I thought, gee, on the scary meter, what is more scary or scarier than getting in front of a room full of people and speaking? And I thought, yeah, there's a lot of things that are pretty scary, but I think singing would be on the top of the list. So anyhow, serendipitously, I meet this lady and I started writing songs and poetry. And I actually had an opportunity and sang with a wonderful R&B band locally for a while. So all of this kind of gave me permission to put my words into melody. And when I met her, she loved my words. She loved my lyrics. I didn't sing. And she connected me with the wonderful brothers Corin, who toured with Coldplay and Bon Jovi and Pink and Rod Stewart for years. They were the front band. And they also loved my lyrics. They thought they were quite alive. And turns out they liked my voice. Wow, that was like, OMG. As we go through life, the fear factor about letting who we are out, in my experience, lessens. We are not so self-conscious. And so anyway, so Tina Rose is my performer's name. All my friends from Mexico and Latin America refer to me as Tina. They have for years. So it sounded more musical than Kristine Grant, which sounds kind of like a therapist type person. So anyhow, my album is Love Letters. Oh, wow. By Tina Rose. And it's on all the platforms. And if you go to my tinarosemusic.com. You can get a free download, and it'll show all the platforms I'm on and YouTubes and such. So that's the story behind that.
Well, you know what? Since you brought that up, I am going to play this. Okay, let's see. Now I'm going to share so they can hear your beautiful voice.
Oh,
Okay, so now let's see. I share the screen and
cross our fingers. The technology
fingers. And let's see. Okay, no, I did that backwards. Okay, hold on. I am going to do this right.
There's 10 songs. I have no idea which one she's going to choose.
Wait a minute. I know what to do. Share the screen. Now. Got it. Butterfly.
Oh.
When I see you, butterflies. When you're near, butterflies are so thrilling. Now I know my heart is clear. New feelings of anticipation. Your touch fills me with joy. Rhythm of love, syncopation. My angel baby, lover boy. Stay with me, lay with me, wrapped in your soul. Surrendered by each kiss, love's magic wings stole. Butterflies, I get butterflies when I see you. Butterflies when you're near. The taste of you inside each tear. Pearls of wisdom I cast before you. Don't give up your heart, mercy. Love can always transform you. Like butterflies, we can fly free. Stay with me, play with me, wrapped in your soul. Surrendered by each kiss, love's magic we've stole. Butterflies, I get butterflies when I see you. Butterflies when you're near. The taste of you inside each tear. My heart is bursting with sunshine, feeling butterflies when you're near, embracing each tender moment. I'm feeling butterflies, lonely heartbeats out here. Stay with me, play with me, wrapped in your soul, surrendered by each kiss, love's magic wings stole. Butterflies, I get butterflies when I see you. Butterflies when you're near. The taste of you inside each tear. Butterflies, 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 butterflies.
Oh, I'm so flattered. Thank you.
I had to play the whole song. Because,
Wow.
you know, it's such a beautiful, beautiful song. It's such a
Thank
beautiful song.
Yeah,
And
there's a violinist. Her name is Jamie Shadowlight, and she's the one that's performing the jazz violin. And the other thing, the little twinklies like a butterfly feel, that is my daughter who's now 25. That was her baby rattle.
Really?
Yes, I was on my way to visit her when we did the recording in Ojai, north of Los Angeles, at the studio, and she lives in Oregon. So I had planned this trip, and she has a little baby, and I thought, oh, I'll bring the beautiful sterling silver baby rattle gift. So when we were doing the butterfly song, I went, wait 1 second, ran out, got the rattle, and there we went. Yeah.
Wow, that is really that is a beautiful, beautiful song. You have a beautiful voice.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
you do.
you.
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
And I didn't know that when we were on the cruise.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was always a shower singer and always kind of a ham. My family, a lot of them were singers. I mean, I have fond memories of my father flipping, pancakes and singing in the morning. And his song is joyful and it's another vibration and it's story. So it kind of fits into my profile of how I roll through life. What would we do without music? I mean,
Exactly.
seriously, what a gift. What a gift
Exactly.
music is.
Now,
And
now, Tina,
yes,
do you write all of your songs?
yes, I do.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
I'll just share with you real briefly how that happened. So I'm singing with the R&B band, and the band leader, Gregory Michael, had a little granddaughter in Nashville. She was only 6 years old, and she had a serious illness. And one morning I woke up and I was thinking of that precious little girl, and I thought, wow, how did she get that name, Patience? Her name was Patience. Why would her parents name her Patience and go through this kind of ordeal? Because of course, it really requires an open heart, hope, patience, and all those attributes. And so as I was writing a poem for this little one, this song Up in Smoke came over like from the ethers, and I leaped out of bed and said, my kingdom for a pen. I need to write this down. Within 10 minutes, I wrote my first song. I called Gregory. He goes, wow, we're putting that to music. And then, like I said, that gave me permission. Someone else said, yeah, it's good enough. And after that, it would just come over me. I'd be driving, and go, whoa, I got to pull over and write a song. And and they all have a personal reference, things I've experienced, their story. So it's really been fun, so much fun. And just to let everyone know, there's an amazing saxophone play. I love saxophone. Okay.
Okay.
So this wonderful saxophone player, Chris Del Camino, is also featured. And then another gentleman jumped in to do some harmonica on one of the songs. So yeah, but the brothers, they are just amazing. I did create the melodies and all of the lyrics. And yeah.
Oh, you created the melody too.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
That was my next question because usually the songwriters write the lyrics and then you have a composer to put the lyrics to music, but you write the music too.
Yeah.
Wow, Tina.
Yeah. I mean, other than when I was a little girl and I used to sing Fly Me to the Moon and play piano when I was probably 7 or 8, I really kind of let go of, music for a while. And other than the shower and car singing. And my brother was a guitarist and he sang both Spanish and English songs. And I had an uncle who was a lounge singer. So it was kind of in the family. But yeah, so this is the interesting, fun story. So I'm with one of the brothers and they're from Australia. And we're in this dining room of mine and I'm on the computer just as I am now. And he says, Kristine, I love your lyrics. They're so alive. Have you ever possibly thought of a melody? And my immediate response was, well, duh, how could I write a song without a melody? That just didn't make sense to me. And he said, oh, well, most of the people we work with, just as you were saying, have words, lyrics, no melody, or melody, no words. So he then had me sing Cold Turkey on a Zoom call. He recorded my voice. And the next day they said, we want to produce every song you've ever written. And by the way, no one is to sing any of the songs but you. So that was a huge wow. I felt like I won the lottery on that one. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing, and that's a tribute to your talent.
Oh, thank
You
you.
know? So is this was your first album? You have another one that's on the way?
I think I just wrote another song. It's coming up. Yeah. I want to bring back, our socially, we are in kind of a weird space. Everyone would agree that it's never been like this on the planet before. And all this compromise we've had to go through, and social distancing. And along with that, family and love connections have been put under a lot of strife, etc. And so I really feel like, connection and music and such is so healing, very healing. And we need to, it's interesting. When there's a challenge, some people can go, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. And other people go, what am I supposed to learn from this? And someone else might say, oh, well, this is an opportunity to do something else. So based on where your set point is, you can experience a different type of encounter based upon that. It's like I have 45 first cousins, right? And
Really?
yeah, very Irish background. And and if I were to go, like one of my uncles has 13, another one has 11 kids. And if I were to go to each of those cousins and inquire, what was it like growing up? Do you know that I would get a different story?
Of course.
Yes. So
In
it's
the same
all,
family. Yeah, brothers and sisters, same. Yeah, yeah,
it's all perspective.
yeah.
So shifting our perspective is really powerful. And that's kind of where the letter writing, I think, is pretty amazing. What I do, just to enlighten the audience a little bit more, is for about 17 years, I've had the honor and the absolute privilege of helping hundreds of people to remedy or release the fatigue and the dread or the estrangement, even from loved ones and or coworkers. But primarily, I work within the interpersonal realm, and it's just been astounding. We as humans, what we have to move past and through sometimes, and more often than not, is our ego, our history, our wound, our culture, our, programming, all of that. And if we're able to do that, we can actually go to the mountaintop and see a different sight than what we're seeing with the more myopic vision of coming from the ego. So when I work with a client, I leap over their ego because I don't carry that emotional baggage. I have my own. And so with that, I'm able to find the right words for what someone really wants to say. It's not about, and you've heard this before, it's not about being right, being in control, having more power. When you think about it, as souls, as light beings, enlightened with, divine grace, if you will, we all really need to wake up to our connection. I once did a TV show on Fox for the March for Our Lives with the students. And instead of getting into some political rhetoric, I decided to share a story, and I'm going to share it with you again because it's pretty powerful. I worked as a crisis intervention counselor at a high school, and I was referred to these two girls who were bitter enemies, arch enemies, rivals. They each had their own gang of mean girls, and they made each other's life a living hell in the social realm in high school. And we can probably relate to some of what that looks like. So the two girls come in, and they're just, fit to be tied. And I had them sit down, face one another, and hold hands, look into each other's eyes. And I said, you're going to repeat a simple truth. And the simple truth is, when I was just a little girl, all I really wanted was to feel loved, accepted, and connected. And that's all I want now. And the two girls followed suit. They followed the directions. They uttered these words, and they both broke down in huge tears and hugged it out. Then they got up, dismissed them, go back to class. Thank you so much. And about 2 months later, one of the girls approached me and said, "Did you hear about our heart circle?" I said, "What heart circle?" "Well, after we met with you that day, we told all our friends." So they got the two rivaling groups to understand what they went through, their revelation, and they formed a circle. They would meet once a week after school out on the green, hold hands, and each teenager in the group, and there were over 65, by the way, would share a simple truth. And that's beautiful. That's healing. And that was through inspiration. I inspired them, but they created the heart circle.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That's and you know what? I want to get more into your heart letter writings, but right now what I have to do is go to a quick commercial, and then excuse me, when we come back, I really want to delve more deeply into that, because that's how I met you when we were on the cruise, and you said what you did, and I thought, oh my God, I've never heard of that. And when I came back home, I started telling people about this amazing woman and what she did, and they thought, oh wow, I could use that. So we'll be right back.
Yeah, stick around because I might have some gifts to give out.
Oh yes, my audience loves gifts, and so do I. Okay, so we'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, we are back. Now, if you would like to advertise on this show with eye-catching videos and increase your visibility, please contact us at 1-877-667-7325 for details, or you can email janfornow125 at gmail.com. Now we are going to bring back to you Tina Rose.
Hey.
All right, Tina. Now I have what I want to know is when did you begin love letter writing journey, and what made you choose this particular kind of journey?
Okay. So again, it was sort of serendipitous. I being a psychotherapist, I'm sure you can relate to this. Often friends and family kind of pick your brain and want your opinion. And so I had this neighbor, and she'd pretty much raised her kids. I think she might have had one kid still left in high school, and she was single, and she really wanted to get married again. And so she was out there on dating sites and meeting people, and she met this guy, and she thought he was an amazing man. She goes, he's a wonderful, quote, catch. He's an attorney. He's kind. He's generous. He's respectful. He's fun to hang out with. But I keep waiting for that chemistry thing to show up, and I don't want to kiss him. And I feel bad because, he continues to do all these wonderful things. He was even sending flowers to her home. And I mean, he was very much into her. And she wished that she could be reciprocative in that way, but she just didn't have the chemistry. I mean, we all can relate to that, I think. And so instead of telling him how she felt, she couldn't bring herself to do so. She wanted to keep him as a friend. So she didn't want to just diss him out of her life. She really had kind of a sister brotherly feeling. She had an affection towards him, just not romantically. Anyhow, so she said she couldn't bring herself to tell him because she thought she would blow it. She would either hurt his feelings or embarrass herself. And she just became more and more stressed out. So I said, all right, well, if you're not very good at communicating verbally, why don't you just write him a note? And next time you see him, you can give him your little note in a card, and just, start it off by saying, I really have enjoyed our connection, and I've been thinking a lot about you. And I just kind of thought I could put it in writing where I'm at with this, so we can, have a complete understanding or something along those lines. And in other words, she didn't want to lead him down a primrose path, and she did care about him as a friend. So she writes this. So she goes, "That's a great idea." She writes her letter, her note. She shows it to me, and it was terrible. Actually, it was kind of disgusting. She resorted to the old "it's me, not you" dialogue and started fibbing, if you will, and saying, "Oh, I really, quote, suck at relationships. I'm not interested in a relationship." But it was all not true, not true. So I tore it up and I rewrote what I thought she should say. She looked at it and went, "OMG, I love this. It's perfect." She gave him that note, and it went beautifully thereafter. I mean, not only did they remain friends, but she had a legal situation arise, and he helped her free of charge with all the letters and the legal filings and all of that. She couldn't have been more happy. They were able to retain their friendship. Then she started asking me for more letters for other situations. Then her friends started calling. Then I would start getting calls from people out of state. saying, I heard that you do letters. And so I was just writing letters. And one lady who had been much afraid of her former husband, who was not a nice person, a nefarious individual. And I believe there was domestic violence included in their marital relationship. She left him, had a restraining order, but she just didn't trust that he would abide by that. And so she walked around in dread. She had trouble sleeping. So I wrote, frankly, a note to her ex-husband. She was able to deliver it to him, and he conveyed back, I love you, and don't worry, I will not ever put you in harm's way or any type of stressful scenario. And this is my final goodbye, in essence, is what he said. Well, she sighed a sigh of relief and said, now I can sleep at night. She carried a copy of this letter in her purse just for resolve. And that was back in 2007, I believe. And she was never bothered ever again. And so she said, this is priceless. And I really need to compensate you because this is out of the norm. This is, way out off the cliff from therapy and such. But then I realized, wow, I had helped so many people in so many, in dire straits, even to remedy their relationship matter, and in such rapid amount of time, almost instantaneous, that I decided, you know what, this is something that I need to promote. This is something that I need to let the rest of the world in on so they can access my service around this. And I do have different programs. If someone wants to write their own letter, I can edit it. If they just want to consult with me, great. But most people really like me to create their words for them. And Dr. Janice, it is divinely downloaded. I am convinced. Sometimes I'll have tears going down my cheeks. I've never even met these people in person, much less ever encountering the person who's receiving the letter. I just have this intuitive sense about, wait, don't say it that way. No, no, no. We're going to do it this way. Because I know how those words will be received, how they are presented. So it's compassionate communication, essentially. And it's also defines the issue at hand, offers a solution that the person performing the letter or giving the letter is willing to do. So it's like a peace negotiation, if you will. But I write for every circumstance. If someone's in a marital or romantic situation and they want to reheat the souffle or, respark the joy in that because things have gotten, dull or off track, or especially during COVID, where there's other worrisome issues, on the plate, I can do that. I can also help with blended family issues. It's like, gee, I married this wonderful guy and his daughters can't stand me, or the divorced. Hey, what about the kids? I've done a lot of letters that replace divorce mediation.
Really?
Oh yeah. One letter. And it's like, I have a chapter in my book dedicated to divorce. What about the kids? I've had so many letter calls. This is my book, by the way. It's Relation Shift, How to Write the Words You Really Want to Say, by my other name, Kristine Grant with a K.
Okay.
And you can find that on my website, which is KristineGrant.com, and it leads you to the Amazon link. I think it's also in Barnes and Noble and such. So that's that. But I also write eulogies, yeah. Often there'll be, I'll give you one story on that. There was a woman, I had written a letter, helped her write her letter to her husband. Their marriage was kind of stumbling. And 6 months prior, I helped her and wrote a love letter. I call them inspired heart letters from her to her husband, and it recalibrated their marriage. Then, like I said, 6 months later, his father suddenly dies. uh,
Oh,
massive heart attack or whatever. And he was so unprepared. It was actually his stepfather, but his natural dad passed away when he was only 2. And
oh,
this father came in before the age of 4, and he was his hero. He
oh,
emulated this guy. And so he was at such a loss. He said to his wife, "You have to help me. I'm just falling apart, and we've got to fly to Vegas and go to the family eulogy, and and oh my gosh." And so she calls me up. She goes, "I need your help." And I said, "Sure, I'll help you." And she said, "Okay." I said, "When are you leaving?" And she goes, "15 minutes." I
ooh,
said, "15 minutes?" Yeah. And I said, "All right, it's cool." So I interviewed her for a mere 5 minutes. I
okay.
interviewed her for her stepfather's eulogy, okay? Or excuse me, father-in-law's eulogy. And and she calls me from the airport in Vegas. I mean, she got it 10 minutes. She got it in I sent it, I wrote it is let me start over. Sorry. I interviewed her in 5 minutes, wrote it in 10 minutes, so she had it in 15. She calls me from the airport in Vegas and she said, "Oh my gosh, my husband couldn't stop crying." And he said, "I don't remember telling you, but uh, in this eulogy, you've written how Gary, that was his dad's name, used to sing Johnny Cash songs in the shower." And he did. And it's brought back a flood of memories. I saw the man in the shower, happy singing. I'm gonna, just like happy in a space.
Okay.
And I saw the cowboy boots, and he wore cowboy boots. I mean, and I didn't have time to go back and re-edit what came flooding through me.
Oh my,
And yeah, she said it was amazing. Her husband was just so taken with it, and it really touched his heart in such a way. So that's just one example. So when I write the words you really want to say, again, uh, I can tap into your higher heart.
okay.
Okay, so we function in different levels: the mental realm, the emotional realm, the physical realm. You can say the spiritual realm. I function in the realm of the heart. And,
Okay.
if any of the audience or yourself believes in like the heart centers and the chakras, well, the heart center is right between everything. So I get centrally focused to and come up with the resonance that needs to be shared. We're humans, we're divine beings, and we are gifted with voice, with communication. And I really hope they don't do away with penmanship entirely in the schools, but that's another subject.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's one example of what I do. I'll just give you another quick story if we have time.
Sure.
Do we?
Sure.
Okay. So for people that struggle in their family relationships, I once had a woman who was so surprised. She was married for about I think it was around 20, 22 years. And one day, and she thought she had a typical marriage. I mean, like any marriage, they had conflicts, but nothing heavy, and they would work it out. And they had 2 kids who are now in college, and um, she thought that their marriage was wholesome and altogether pretty good. And one day, the husband just announced, "I'm decided I really want a divorce and I want to start a new life." So he had his midlife crisis. By the way, there was not another partner on the side. He was not cheating on her. And she was devastated. She felt like she was just tossed out, without a care. And she went into a rather deep depression. She started becoming overly involved with her kids, who are now young adults. And she became what is termed as codependent. So taking on all of their anxieties and becoming sort of meddlesome in a way with good intentions, and you know, basically kind of overstepping her welcome with her kids in a way, because they wanted to have their independence, and she was hanging on to them with dear life. So she was having so many issues with the children that she contacted me to write a letter to them that would resolve some of their conflicts. And I said, no, I don't think so. We're going to write a letter to your ex-husband. Now, this was 16 years after they parted company. And he did finally meet someone else about 4 years after they separated and remarried and started his own life. And so she said, "Oh my gosh, no, he's, I have such, resentment for him, and he kind of tossed me aside, and he's disrespectful, and da da da." So I said, "Well, we look at the whole picture. We look at the dream you guys started, which was family and connections. Now you're becoming a burden to your children. Everyone's missing out on all the family celebrations and special moments, where wouldn't it be lovely if the children and even the grandchildren in the future could all be there with her and her ex-husband, the grandparents or parents, who are being cooperative and harmonious, even though their chapter ended several years prior." So needless to say, I wrote the letter, and she had this aha moment when she received the letter. She started dating. She took herself on a trip to New Zealand and Hawaii. She started taking ballroom dance classes, and she said it was as if she had gotten a new lease on life. The letter set her free from her old resentments. And they had a family celebration that came up some months later. And she said her ex-husband treated her. She never got an acknowledgement, a verbal acknowledgement from him regarding the letter. Occasionally that happens. It's not common, but sometimes it does. But she said she didn't need the words. His actions spoke louder. He treated her like she was a queen at this
Wow.
family reunion. Yeah. And so it just lightened her whole experience in life. She got a new lease on life. I mean, she was able to forgive. She was able to let go.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, now her testimonial, she wrote a testimonial in the book. So that letter story is included. And her testimonial essentially said, "One letter from me was like a year's worth of therapy."
wow, Tina, that is
Isn't
awesome.
that something?
That is awesome. Yeah, Maxine is our travel buddy.
Yes.
She has a question. She
Oh,
says, when are you coming to Chicago? Maybe sometime in 2022.
oh, wouldn't that be fun? I love Chicago. I
What?
do. Yeah,
What?
one of my nieces went to is it DePaul?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
DePaul. Right.
Yeah, she studied like the back stuff for theater, the lighting and all
Oh,
that
okay.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I've been there a couple times, and actually I spoke on was it ABC Chicago, I think?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Oh,
loved it. I thought it was a fun city. Yeah.
well, hopefully, uh, if it's not on the next cruise, hopefully, uh, you'll be in Chicago or we'll be on the West Coast. But Tina,
Fabulous.
I have it on here where they can reach you, and
Yes.
it's KristineGrant.com.
Yes.
And if they want to get your music, it's TinaRoseMusic.com. And I got it on YouTube. So if you want to listen to her music, especially that song Butterflies, which I love, you can go right on to YouTube. Now, you said we got about 2 minutes.
Okay. So I want to thank everyone for stopping by and bless your heart for having me. And yes, I want to get together with you and Maxine. And perhaps I'll work on a cruise. I could sing in the lounge and give lectures. So, but anyway, but what I want to give everyone today is if you do go to my site, the Kristine with a K,
I don't know why
grant.com.
did I put that C in there.
Oh,
Oh,
it's okay. Everybody does it. That's why I have to go. I'm like Chris Kringle. Okay.
OMG.
And if you
Yes.
go to KristineGrant.com, I have an ebook that you can download for free, and it's The Magic of Words. Okay. And if you'd like to get on my calendar, if you're having a relationship concern and you know any dynamic, I'm there for you. I will give you a free 20-minute consultation. So we can do I can give you some pearls of wisdom or a discovery call. So I hope that's helps to make your day. And then also, if you go to the tinarosemusic.com, as you said, you can access a free download of one of the songs. We do that every month, I believe. And you can also have access to all the platforms. I also have the other program, Be Friendship Focused for Children. My daughter and I created the A to Z power cards, and I pulled one, like my little oracle. This is not tarot, but I pulled one while we were on the commercial break. And what came up was this one. I don't know if you can see it. It's our little paintings. And the word is kindness. And the inspirational thought is a valuable gift that can be recycled. Okay. So be kind. There's a lot of pain on the planet, and we can raise the frequency by being kind.
Yes.
Your homework assignment, do something nice for someone else.
Yes. 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 Always be nice to someone else. And thank you so much, really, Tina, for being a guest on my show. It was just so wonderful to speak with you again.
Yeah.
This has been wonderful. And
give Maxine a hug.
I sure will. As a matter of fact, we work out together. I'll see her in the morning at 6 a.m. And
wow, 6 a.m.
6 a.m. Yeah, we get out and we have to keep our girlish figures.
Gosh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You look amazing.
Thank you. And so do you. And I want you to be safe. And thank you again for being a guest on the show. This has been wonderful. We had so many questions and comments, but I got so into you.
Oh,
but we'll have to have you back.
Oh, I would love to come back. So hang on to those comments, and I'd love to respond. Yeah,
I definitely will. So,
all right.
Good night. Oh no, you're on the East Coast, so yeah. Good evening.
No, I'm on the West Coast.
Oh, you're on the West.
Yeah, sure. I'm California girl.
All righty.
Yeah.
So you have the blessed of your day. Make your rest of your day be a blessing.
Oh, I will accept that blessing with all my heart. Thank you so much.
All righty.
Talk to you soon, dear.
All right. This has been a wonderful show. And I'm going to thank, and I want to thank all of my viewers for tuning in. I know you got some amazing information, and what I will do, just in case you did not get, all of her contact information, so that you can get what she is offering, her free gift. She's such a generous soul. And I will put it on my Facebook page so that you can avail yourself of that. So remember, relationships matter. And there are all kinds of relationship matters. And what you heard and saw today was another Relationship Matters show. I hope everyone remains safe. I want everyone to have a blessed rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. See you next week. And next week, we have a young lady who lost $1 million through online dating. You want to stay tuned. You want to definitely be here for that. All righty? All right. Bye-bye.